everybody, my name is Senna Wazer. I'm a 16-year-old climate activist from the state of Connecticut, and today I'm going to quickly walk you through the steps of how to contact your elected officials. Now, first of all, I want you to know that you have many people representing you. You have people representing you at the town level, at the state level, and at the federal. But what I'm really going to focus on is contacting people at either the state or federal level. Okay, so I want to start by talking about how do we find the people representing us. So I'm using a website called myreps.datamade.us, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for my state and my federal representatives. So I'm going to uncheck local and county because I'm not going to worry about that right now, and then I'm going to type in my address in this box right here. Alright, and search. Okay, so the first people who are going to come up when you do this are your U.S. senators. And so for the entire United States, there are 100 senators. There are 2 for each state. And so for Connecticut, the senators are Christopher Murphy and Richard Blumenthal. And if I want to contact them, about some issue, I can do so right here. And it would be really important to contact my senators if there's like a federal bill that I really want passed or really don't want passed. That is when I would contact them. And then I'm going to scroll down really quick just to show you these people. So President, Vice President, I'm going to assume you guys know they're, kind of in charge of the United States. And then right down here, we have our U.S. representative. And so the U.S. representative represents my district, so the 2nd District of Connecticut, in Congress, so in Washington, D.C. And for senators, like I said before, there are 2 senators for each state, but representatives are by population. So, for example, Connecticut has less representatives than California because we have less people in our state. All right, and kind of same thing as senators, he would be really important to contact if there's a federal piece of legislation I want passed or don't want passed. And then lastly, I want to show you my state representatives. So right after the U.S. senators, the next person who pops up is the governor. And so for Connecticut, the governor is Ned Lamont. And what I like to think of the governor as kind of like the president of the state. So he has a lot of power over state legislation, but not so much over federal. And so if I want something, done at the state level, I might contact him right here. And then Lieutenant Governor is kind of like Vice President, but for the state of Connecticut. And then right now I'm not going to really worry about all these other people like Secretary of State and Treasurer and all that. Instead, I'm going to scroll down to show you my Connecticut State Representative and Connecticut State Senator. So they're very similar to the representative and senator at the federal level, except for that they make decisions at the state level. So let's say I want a bill passed at the state level, I would contact my state representative, Greg Haddad, and my state senator, May Flexer. And I can do so right here at this link. Okay, so now that you know how to find who your representatives are, I want to explain kind of what to say. What's the critical information to include when you're writing them an email or a letter, or maybe you're even calling to them or talking to them in person. And so there are 3 basic things that are really important to hit. First of all, you want to say your name, the town where you live, and your job or your school. And the reason that saying, your town and like your school, for example, is really important is because that lets your elected official know that you're a constituent, that they are representing you, and, part of their job as a representative is to listen to the people that they're representing. And so it's really important that you say, like, I am a constituent, I live in your town. That's really critical. The second piece of information that's really important to include is what you want. So, for example, if I'm writing to my representative about climate change, I might say, Dear Representative Joe Courtney, my name is Senna Wazer. I live in Mansfield, Connecticut, and I go to the University of Connecticut. I'm really concerned about climate change, and I'm asking for immediate and drastic climate action. And then the third really important piece of information to include is why you care, right? So if you can connect, whatever you're asking for to a personal story, that's really powerful. Or even if you just say, like, I want this because, like for climate change, for example, right? I want climate change action because I'm concerned about my future. Because I'm afraid that if we don't act, like, I'm not going to have a safe future. So those are kind of the 3 really critical pieces of information to include, when you're contacting your elected official. So I hope that's helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.